Join. Greetings everyone, my name is Jack5 and welcome to another Minecraft video. Now, how long has it been since my last one? It was in January of 2019, so that's gotta be about a year and a half, right? Let me just briefly explain why I cancelled my Minecraft single player series. Basically, I'm finally done with Minecraft. It isn't fun for me. I find that the freedom that Minecraft gives me makes it really hard for me to make decisions on what I want to do, because if you give me so much potential, I just don't know where to go. My head spins. And sure, Minecraft is culturally significant, and I played it at a young age, but it just doesn't hold up as much as TF2 has. So, why am I back in Minecraft? Well, there's a really good reason for that. Check it out. This is the Rushy Servers Minecraft server for Australia, and it's been active for a while, and I haven't really touched on it, but I feel that the creative world on this server has enough buildings for me to showcase some of the best buildings to you guys. If I walk over here and right-click this sign, it'll take me to the creative world. This was the area that I and another moderator, Doomes, built for the creative world. Now, keep in mind that I don't really play on this server because, like I mentioned, Minecraft isn't my thing. However, if you guys are interested in playing Minecraft, I would highly recommend you join this server, just because I know the people here and I know the community here. I'm going to show you a couple of really good creative buildings around here. And to do that, I'm going to enter the command plot list all. Let's go ahead and go to Haunted Mansion first, as that is the first build that was constructed other than the spawn build. As you can see, it's right over there. It's basically just a haunted mansion where everything's been stylized to look pretty haunted. I mean, not too haunted. Maybe if I set the time of day to night, it will look better. Oh yeah, we got a couple of arcade cabinets that don't really do much. But there is a stairwell, and when you go up here, it actually takes you to a completely different area, the second floor, where there's a lot more creepy stuff, like this pumpkin here. There's even a secret, well, it's sort of an anti-secret. If you go through into the guest room over here, you can walk around here, and you can squeeze through these cobwebs for a little while, and eventually, you'll come across this. You came here for nothing. So that's fun. There's not really much to this building. It pretty much is just what it says it is. The rest of this plot is basically just mushrooms with glowstones in them and pressure plates on top so that it looks more like a mushroom and yet it casts light. And also leaves are here because we can't use vines since vines spread all over the place. Okay, so that is the first build. Now let's go ahead and have a look at the next build. If you know the GameCube, you'll know that it's basically just a Portal clone where you extend blocks from the walls. And I've already done this puzzle on my channel before. If you watched my fandom video, you will have seen me attempt part of this puzzle, mainly starting from here and going all the way through this puzzle here. It's basically just a parkour challenge, a really simple parkour challenge that anyone can do. It can get a little confusing. Not at this point. I believe, like, right around here it can get quite confusing because you actually have to follow this path in here, and then you have to go up here and walk backwards in order to get to the top. Obviously, you guys aren't here looking for stuff that's super simplistic, so let's go ahead and look at some other stuff. How about Harvest Invasion? This is pretty much a recreation of Harvest, except there's an alien spaceship in the middle that's beaming up part of the barn. Also, you'll notice that a lot of these builds use barriers, and you can actually get free barriers. If you go in the spawn area, you just click this button and you get a free barrier that you can use in your project, so you don't even have to ask for a admin to give you one. Next build is Doom 2, and there's music playing. The reason why not many builds have music at the moment is because the latest Minecraft update broke music. So, everyone's data for music was lost. But basically, this is a recreation of the zombie survival map Doom 2 in Minecraft. As you can see, it's got all of the buildings and all the rooms and even the places where the health packs and stuff go. So here we have the lava room with a couple of pathways. We've got the corridors that split in two. We've got this tech room here where you can actually see both sides of this inner area. Here's the hotel-esque room. And we even have the glass down here, which is the blue spawn point. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, let's move on to another personal favorite of mine, the Dead ZS Map Cemetery. This is hilarious because it's a time capsule of zombie survival maps. In this graveyard, we literally have a bunch of zombie survival maps, or just maps from the zombie survival servers in general, that were removed because they were not suitable for the game mode. And we also have very funny reasons for their removal. And oh, there's so many maps here. I really cannot talk about all of them. But let's just go ahead and look around and see if I can find some of the ones that I personally have experience with. Wow, ZS Boxing Ring is here? For those that don't know, Boxing Ring was actually added back into the server, so this gravestone is kind of outdated. You could say the same for a bunch of these, but I don't really have the time to look through all of them. CTF Convoy, boo-hoo. Oh, it's so sad that Convoy was removed despite being the absolute worst map. Of course, it is possible to give some gifts to the gravestones, like place some flowers down, as I did just then. And all of those flowers, if I go over to this side, they actually go in here. You can't access this as a regular player on the server, but if you're an admin or an owner of this plot, you could actually get in here and collect all of the items that are sent through the gravestones. These items are directly pulled out of here and then moved into that small chest at the front. So I'm gonna go ahead, just be a gracious soul and do that moving myself. Fly all the way out to the front of the cemetery and just put these sunflowers in here. There we go. So that's basically the gist of the ZS Map Cemetery. So let's move on to a different build. I know that I'm flying through these builds and, well, there's not much content I can make from simple builds like these, as well as the fact that there are so many of them that I can only really pick my favorites. So here's another one of my favorites, or at least a highlight. This is Pomson Boy's recreation of the Pomson 6000, because of course he would build this. This is his icon pretty much. He is beholden to this weapon, and there is nothing that he can do to escape that reality. There is a inside area here, but it really doesn't have much in it apart from a couple of inside jokes that nobody understands. But yeah, it's literally just a Pomson. There's not much else to this plot, so I can move on again. Now here's a plot called Boat Turismo, and this was the first instance on this server where people started making boat tracks. I'll just take you on a tour of the circuit. So here we go. All I have to do is just hit this lever, and then I can immediately go. And this, basically what would happen here is that if there were multiple people, this would essentially be a race. So you can either go the long way as I did there, or you can go the short way, but the short way is slower because it's not ice. There are enough boats here for 2 players, but there are other boat races on this server. Damn it, I'm trying to fit through this area. There we go. There are other boat races on this server that have more than 2 boats, so... And I am going to show you one of them. Anyway, I gotta get back here and... undo it. Okay, there we go. Oh, I forgot how to get out of a boat. Right, it's left control on my game, my mistake. Anyway, let's move on to another plot. Here's one called Pixel Arts. And well, if you go to the 3rd row, there's me. This scary pixel art, which you might have seen before. Among all these classic Nintendo and Sega related pixel art images here, sand is being used here for the skin, which means that for this particular build, it was required to have barriers here in order to stop the sand from falling. So There's an interesting fact for you. Anyway, let's move on to another build. I know I'm flying through these, jeez. How about a slightly accurate depiction of 2 Fort to tide over the people in my audience that only care about TF2? Here you can see that we've got the red battlements, the blue battlements, and not much else, because if you try and go any further in, these plots are square, so what you end up with is just a dead end. Like, there was nothing else that could be done. And it's the same on the other side, and because this is symmetric, it would be the same on the red side. The sewers are also like this because there simply isn't enough room in this plot to develop this map any further. As you can see, the roofs here kind of just get cut off at the very end. Even the train tracks are here, and a train over here, which is not the kind of detail that you would expect from creative builds such as these. But anyway, let's keep moving on. I've got a lot to get through. How about we next move to one of my builds, SMK Vanilla Lake 2. And this is a Super Mario Kart port of a map. It's also a boat race. It has a slower start, but you can drive all the way around this lake. And there are 4 boats this time, meaning that up to 4 people can race around this lake. And I've built barriers on the inside here so that if you try and go through the thick water area, it will stop you. Obviously, I can't make it that if you fall through the water, you get stuck there, because that would be unfair. So instead, I've just made it that either you're blocked by or slowed down that expansive area in the middle, which incentivizes people to do kind of Tokyo drifts around the corners here. But that's the general gist of this build, so let me go ahead and get out of here and stop this music from playing by staying here for too long. How about some parkour action? I'm not very good at parkour in Minecraft, so I'll do my best. But basically, you've got to do a giant spiral set of jumps all the way up this tower. Oh, damn it. I am not going to repeat myself for this parkour because it's just going to take way too long. Okay, so here's the top of the castle, and if you actually jump down here, there's an entirely new parkour challenge right here. So I'm going to do that right now. Check this out. And now we have a bunch of slime jumping. You get to the very middle and you press the button. I have to do this a couple of times. There we go. Alright, and one more. Oh, I screwed that one up. Hold on. Oh, screwed it up again. Come on. Okay, there we go. So yeah, that's the basics of this parkour map, and Doomes has made a lot of other parkour plots in the creative space. Me and Doomes also worked on like a kind of sequel to his original cube map. However, this one is unfinished, and I don't think we'll ever finish it. Basically, it's pretty much the same story here, but instead of just waking up at the bottom of a facility, in this one you actually go into a facility and you get dropped down into the set of chambers. It's kind of like Portal 2 if you think about it. These puzzle elements do more than in the original cube. For example, for using this lever, you could actually swap the polarity of this yellow staircase. You also have to use these green blocks to place them down on these pressure plates in order to continue set up. So if I go down here, and there we go. So that door doesn't open until you have both set up. And here is probably the most difficult challenge. You have to do some really tight jumps in order to get across here. And especially here, this is a... Oh, damn it, I screwed that up. And then you would jump across there, provided that this is facing this direction. Okay, there we go, yes. And now we use a green block to just hit these plates. And there isn't anything else to this build, so unfortunately that's the end of that adventure. Here's another parkour build that Doomes developed called Find the Start. I also played this in the fandom video, although I didn't show you guys this section, so I should probably show you this. This level actually takes advantage of a couple of effects. I don't know how they're set up, but pretty much you have to fly through this level using these effects. For example, with this floating effect, you have to fly up here, and then here you have the speed effect, and then you complete the rest of this, which I've already shown you. It's basically just a water section. You fall down here, then you have to bob gently on the top of the water in order to avoid getting burned. This section has actually been updated since I last looked at it. It's more like part of the Wipeout show. You know, the one with the big red balls? And I know that sounds less than ideal for me to talk about, but that's what was on the show. And I think around this point is where the level no longer has any terrain. Let me just check. Okay, I think that might be the actual end of this because there's nothing else to I found a secret. But yeah, there doesn't seem to be anything else to this. Yeah, that's what this build is. It's basically just a whole load of parkour challenges. I'm sure that maybe somebody else would be able to complete this, but I am in no shape to doing it myself. I think the last build I'd like to show you guys is this one by Sweet Cookie called Amusement Park. In this one, you can actually ride like a whole roller coaster, which has all sorts of twists and turns. There used to be a whole stack of shulker boxes with mine carts in them, but I decided that is really counterintuitive. So instead, you are able to just place your own minecart down and ride it like this. So off we go. You guys are going to be able to see what this roller coaster is like. Unfortunately, there are a lot of corners in this roller coaster ride where your head gets kind of stuck in the wall. And, there's not much I can do about that right now, but maybe Sweet Cookie will fix that later on. I think we're approaching our first jump. It's here. It's a downward jump, so we're gonna fall all the way down, but we're actually going to hit a track at the very bottom. So there we go. There's a whole bunch of crazy stuff that this plot does, such as right here where it just did a drop. And then right here, you actually get launched up and you swap tracks. That is really cool. I didn't know you could even do that. I think it's because of the slime block that's made possible. That's the end here of that ride. And yeah, I really like this. I really think Sweet Cookie should make more rides, or at least ones that are longer. So after seeing these builds, I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, hey, I want to join this Minecraft server. How can I do that? All you have to do is type the IP minecraft.rushyservers.com into Minecraft. I put it on the screen before, but I'll put it up again in case you guys didn't see it. And once you're in, you'll be able to teleport to the creative world by right-clicking, or you could go to one of the other worlds such as survival or anarchy. Yes, there is an anarchy world on this server if you'd like to use minor hacks, pretty much. You're only allowed to hack on that world though. Please don't hack on any other worlds, thank you. While you're on the server, there are some pretty important commands, such as MOTD, which is basically just a list of other commands. In this video, I'm going to show you guys how you can get your own creative plot. But first, I'm going to have to find a vacant one. So let's fly around and find one. All you have to do is look for a border that is not sandstone. I think it's like polished stone, but we're gonna fly out a little bit. Here's one. Let's go and claim this one. It's right next to the amusement park. I should have just been there all along. But anyway, once you're inside, you can use modded creative to see a couple of creative commands. And as you can see, plot claim will give you ownership of whatever claim you're in. And it gets a really generic name like Flatland 15. Those are basically the coordinates of the plot. I'm gonna have to use the plot alias set command. And since I'm really bad at creating names, how about just YouTube plot? Now, I've been in creative mode this whole time, but you will likely spawn in invention mode. And in order to get to creative mode, all you have to do is just ask for game mode creative like this. Use that command. Let's go to the second page of the creative set. And here you can see we've got a couple of other stuff, such as set biome. That sounds really interesting, so let's go ahead and do that. If we say plot set biome, here we get a list of all of the biomes that we can possibly use. Let's go ahead and use snowy mountains like this. There we go. We now have a plot with a snowy mountains biome. Let's add some music to this plot. How about that? All you have to do is just type plots music. I wonder what one I'm gonna pick. How about wait? Yeah, that sounds pretty good. So now that I've built this example, you'll see that I'm able to interact with it just fine, including pushing the cart around and stepping on this, and I can get into the cart if I want. However, it does not let other people do this. And in order to let people do this, you have to give them permission. I'm going to use plot flag set use, and it's here that I can specify a couple of blocks. So in this instance, I'm going to use the, the oak pressure plate. Okay. So now anybody will be able to use the oak pressure plate no matter what. And also, since I want people to be able to use the vehicle, I'm gonna change this to say vehicle use is true. Now anybody can get inside this minecart despite them not being owners. Just as another example, say I also want to add a lever to the list of permissions. All I need to do then is just go back on my set use command and add a lever to it, like this. Lever and an oak pressure plate. Now, both of these items are accepted as things that other people can access. And I'll also, just for an example, add another player to this plot. The add command only works when I'm online. So Doomes will only be able to build on here when I'm online. But if I gave him trust, then that means that he would be able to build on this whenever he likes. So the trust command is really good when you're building collaborative projects, but the add command is much better if you just want momentary help for something, but you don't actually want the person to affect your building while you're offline, if that makes sense. Now, there may be some of you that don't care about creative and would rather play survival or anarchy, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you the survival. You actually turn right out of spawn in order to get to survival, and you spawn in this little hub area. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and find one of the towns that has been built. Oh my goodness. Look at all this stuff. I really was not expecting all this kind of stuff to be built in the survival world. I thought people were just gonna leave this place alone and build towns somewhere else, but no, it seems like people have actually been building near the spawn. And oh yeah, if you try and grief this place, it won't work because these people have protected their plots with golden shovels, and I should also demonstrate that, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So if you follow this path all the way through this cave and through over this bridge, through a couple of villages, here you can see we have a giant village here that somebody, and actually a couple of people are maintaining. This is just absolutely crazy. These people have been on this server since day one, pretty much, which means that they've been accumulating the blocks they need to protect this area for a really long time. They've been able to build this giant tree and this giant skyscraper over here even, and they've got beacons everywhere. So yeah, let me go ahead and demonstrate to you guys how to set up a survival plot so that you too can protect your buildings like these guys have. You know, how about we go ahead and build in this tiny little area down here? This server uses grief prevention, which means that you need to find a golden shovel in however way you do. And in order to claim, all you have to do is just right click on one corner and then right click on another corner. As long as it's 100 blocks or more, this will now become your land. You can also use survival commands by going to MOTD survival. You don't even need to delineate a plot boundary like I just did, because all you need to do is type /claim and it will give you a really small area which you can then extend with extend claim. So for example, if I face this direction and I say extend claim, I believe I have to specify a number of blocks. So extend claim, let's say 20. So, whoa. Okay, so if you wanted to extend it just one position, you would type extend claim 1, okay? I did 20, I didn't realize what I was getting in for, but that's what happens when you type extend claim 20, okay? Other commands you can use are the trust commands, which give certain players certain permissions, and right now, there's no reason for me to keep a hold of this plot, so what I'm gonna do is just say abandon claim. If I can actually type on my keyboard, there we go. Okay, so now this claim doesn't exist anymore, and anybody is free to claim this land at any time. That's all there is to the Rushy Server's Minecraft server at the moment, aside from the Anarchy world. However, I feel that I should show you guys something that one of the moderators is working on, even though you guys can't access this yet. Here we have the mini games world. Now, this is not complete in any sense of the word, which is why I'm only showing you the parkour section. You guys will be able to, later on, once all the mini games are available, play this parkour and all future parkours that are developed by Doomes, because he's the main guy that does all of these build projects, by yourselves or with other people. It really doesn't matter. Okay, some of these jumps are really difficult, but it seems like Doomes has made this a lot easier, so thank you for that. I don't have to spend so much time desperately trying to complete the parkour. Oh yeah, this is way better than I imagined it. Look at that, I finished it. I'm not going to show you guys anything else because I feel it would be best for you to experience this all for yourself, since Doomes has worked really hard on this Discord server and I don't want all of his efforts to go to waste. But that is going to be it for this video, and if you liked this server, go to it by going into Minecraft and entering the IP minecraft.russiaservers.com. Make sure you're subscribed so you can catch up with my latest videos. My next one's probably going to be on Friday because Tuesdays are a little weird for me now. But that's going to be all for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Do you want to see your name in these credits and get exclusive stuff such as badges, emoji, and Discord benefits? Then click the top right icon in this video or the join button next to the subscribe button. Your support is very much appreciated.